bon après-midi, and welcome back to Tea Time with Esme and Boo. I'm Esme, and this is Boo. I wonder aloud, and she already knows the answers. Boo communicates primarily through slow blinks. It means trust, apparently. Or she's tired. The distinction is subtle. Today, we are drinking a tea that nobody planted. Nobody cultivated it. Nobody chose it. It simply grew, flowered, and waited to be noticed. Boo respects this approach to life deeply. This afternoon's guest? Linden Blossom tea, brewed from the flowers of the linden tree. In Czech, this tree is called Lipa, the national tree of the Czech Republic. A tree so loved, they named several towns after it. The scent? It smells like a letter from someone you miss. If that letter were also a flower. Warm and golden, like sunlight that has given up on being ambitious. The flavor? Honeyed and light, delicate in a way that isn't fragile. There's something underneath, almost wistful. Not unhappily wistful, the kind that arrives on a quiet afternoon when nothing is wrong and everything is still temporary. It tastes like the end of something beautiful that hasn't ended yet. Boo finds it appropriate for a Tuesday. I have a lot of thoughts about Tuesdays. Boo does not. Boo finds all days equally acceptable given the lighting is right. Linden Blossom has been used across Central Europe for centuries, for sleeplessness, for anxiety, and for the general condition of being a person. The linden tree has been at the center of Czech culture for over 1,000 years. It appears in folk songs, in poetry, in the names of villages. When Czechoslovakia declared its independence in 1918, the linden was chosen as the national symbol. Not because it's the tallest tree, not because it's the strongest tree, because it's a tree that people gathered under. To talk, to rest, to simply be together for a while. Boo also creates gathering points. She positions herself on whatever you are trying to read. You come to retrieve your book, you stay for Boo. The principle is essentially the same. In medieval Europe, courts were held under linden trees. Disputes settled in the shade. The belief was that the tree encouraged honesty. That something about sitting beneath a linden made it harder to lie, which is essentially a medieval lie detector tree. No polygraph, no blinking lights, just a very judgmental tree and a great deal of social pressure. Boo operates on a similar system. Fun fact. Linden flowers must be harvested at exactly the right moment. Just after they open, before they begin to fade. Too early, and there's no scent. Too late, and the honey is gone. The bees always know when the window is open. The bees are always there first. Boo has observed the bees for years. Linden honey is considered among the finest in the world. Light, aromatic, and with a faint freshness. Used as medicine, as offering, and occasionally as currency. Which brings me to a man who grew up surrounded by all of this, and found it quietly alarming. Franz Kafka was born in Prague in 1883. He wrote in German, and he worked in insurance. In his spare time, he wrote some of the strangest and most important fiction of the 20th century. His most famous story begins as Gregor Samsa awoke one morning and found himself transformed into a monstrous insect. No explanation, no warning. He simply woke up as a bug and then worried about being late for work. Boo finds this relatable. Kafka was apparently very funny at readings. He laughed, his friends laughed. I think that matters. The absurdity wasn't despair. It was recognition. He also never finished anything. The Trial, The Castle, America, all unfinished. He asked his friend Max Brod to burn everything after he died. Max Brod did not, which is either a profound act of literary preservation or a significant breach of trust. Possibly both. Boo would have had it all burned. What I love about Kafka is that he sat with the discomfort. He didn't resolve it. He just described it precisely and let you feel it too. There's something honest in that. Something like the linden tree, actually. Gentle on the surface, a little wistful underneath. And not pretending the afternoon lasts forever. And that brings us to today's question. Today's question comes from @WeirdOwlGirl. She asks, what philosophers speak most to you? And, does Boo like Montaigne? Boo? Well, the philosophers who speak most to me are Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. They were existentialists, which sounds alarming but is actually quite freeing. You see, the central idea is there is no predetermined meaning, no script handed to you at birth. We make meaning through what we choose, through how we treat people. I find that both terrifying and enormously comforting. Terrifying because there's no safety net, and comforting because the chair isn't already taken. Mostly. De Beauvoir also wrote that you cannot be truly free in a world where others are not. That freedom requires the freedom of others. I think about that a great deal. As for Montaigne was a 16th century French writer who essentially invented the personal essay. He wrote about himself constantly, his fears, his digestion, his cat. He once wrote that when he played with his cat, he wondered if she was not in fact the one playing with him. Boo read this. She considers it the most accurate thing a philosopher has ever written. So she's been of course citing this as legal precedent ever since. Thank you @WeirdOwlGirl. That was a very good question. Boo agrees. And she rarely agrees. This has been Tea Time with Esme and Boo. Remember, the tea is temporary, but the world is full of it. If you enjoyed this quiet Tuesday afternoon, please like the video and subscribe for more tea from around the world. Tell us in the comments, is there a thinker or an idea that changed something for you? Even something small?
Boo says Montaigne. She has been consistent on this point. We'll be reading every one. Boo will be slow blinking her assessment of each response. And if you'd like to contribute to the Tea Fund and keep the afternoon going a little longer, there is a link below. It is entirely optional. Boo will not judge you either way. She will.